Hello, welcome to J.Carmels kitchen. Today we are making the classic vanilla cake recipe. I'm absolutely obsessed with this because it's classic. Two, it's rich with vanilla flavor. It's just exploding with vanilla flavor. Super moist and it's easy to make, and you can pair it with any other recipe like strawberry shortcake, that video we did, the chocolate trifle that had a vanilla cake recipe, and so much more. So I'm just gonna show you this basic vanilla recipe that you can use for anything, and it's quick and easy. So let's get started. So we had the discussion about everything has to be at room temperature, and this is exactly what I'm talking about when it comes to butter. See, the butter, you want to make sure it's just like when you put a knife to it or a spatula, it just smooths off. If you were to microwave this, you will see all the oils dripping out of it, and that's what we don't want because it won't have a hold to it when you're actually making your cake. So this is what room temperature butter looks like. Okay, so let's get started with adding the butter. So now we're just going to turn this on to make sure it is blended until creamy. Mistakes happen in the kitchen. Okay, so now we're just gonna scrape the sides off to make sure no butter, no oil, or egg is stuck to it. We wanna make sure everything is well blended together. Now I'm just adding the sour cream. Sour cream is gonna add that moistness to the cake, and it's just gonna be so good. So on here, what we're gonna do is add the flour. Now, I've had times where I added the flour all together and then added my wet ingredient, the buttermilk, to it. But then there's time that I did half and half. Right now we're gonna do half and half. You can add it with the sifter. What it is with the sifter, when I put it on the top here, it's just gonna take clumps out of the powder, of the flour. That's it. But other than that, I have had no problem with it. I personally just like sifting the flour. And this is what we're gonna do right now. I'm just gonna add a little bit. Just sift it in there. And then we're gonna blend it, and I'm gonna add the buttercream to it. Buttermilk, sorry. So now we're just gonna stop it and go and scrape the edges one more time just to make sure all that residue of flour is off the edges, and we wanna make sure it's really creamy and incorporated. Okay, so before we add it into the pans, we wanna make sure we grease it. And when I say grease, you have to be nice with this. I personally use just some vegetable shortening. You could use butter and make sure it's melted, but I have vegetable shortening for this. And then I'm gonna add some flour to it. So you gotta be nice with this. Really grease it up there. Get the edges all around. Go in a circle. Wipe all down and make sure that's good to go. You just want to make sure this is nice and greased up. I'm going to grease all our pans really well. And honestly, I don't see a difference in shortening or butter. It just helps with, it not sticking. And then now we are going to put some flour in it. Just gonna sprinkle some flour in each of it, just a little bit. And then now, just gonna swirl it all around. Make sure all the edges are covered. Now, if you want to add it and just make sure they're all even, I do have a measuring um tool for this. Just put it on a weight and then just measure it out. But other than that, I just pour it in there. Okay. And then we're gonna add it to the next one. Then the last. Now your oven is already set to 350, and we're just gonna put it in for about 25 minutes. And then we're just gonna stick our toothpick in it just to make sure that it's okay. Okay, so when it comes to the cakes coming out the oven, I particularly like taking them off the oven, letting them cool for like 2 seconds, and then flipping them over. But I'm gonna be honest, for the sake of video, we had it cooling for a while and it's still been inside the pans. But sometimes when you hold it for a long period of time in the pan, it gets stuck. So that's why I've learned over a period of time, as soon as you take it out, wait at least a minute or two and then flip it over, okay? And if it gets stuck, all you have to do is do a little shake test. You see that? And you see how it's lifting a little bit? You want to make sure it shakes. But then this is the ultimate test. That it's whole when I flip it over. Okay? So we're about to find out. Ah! But don't worry, I will show you how to fix this. Perfect. And perfect. Look at that. Look how nice and golden. The edges are nice. You would love your cake looking like this because it makes it easier when it's time to frost it. And like I said, no worries about this. I will show you exactly how to fix that. But this is the ultimate vanilla recipe. Okay, so the little piece of cake is just still in here. And I'm so happy this happened on video because it's easy to show how to fix it. We want to just get the little piece, and it's just like doing a puzzle piece. You just put it right there and just let it sit, right? Now, for instance, when I have my buttercream and I'm gonna smooth it over, when I smooth it over, it's acting as an adhesive to the cake and the buttercream. So it'll just stick. And then I'll also like put it on the side so it won't move. And so when I'll put it in the refrigerator, say for about like 5 to 10 minutes, so it could make sure it sticks on there. But when I say thin layer, it's a super thin layer and you can just pull it across and nothing happens. See, with me just even putting it out, nothing's happening to it right now. So that's it. There's so many cakes that I've personally done, and I'm just being honest, that this has happened to, and it's been a huger chunk than that, and no one ever told the difference. And I actually saw this on it was like Cake Boss when he did his competitions and stuff with the little kids and everything. It was on there and a kid was crying because a whole chunk came out, and I learned that from there. And I was like, okay, I'm doing this from now on, and it has worked perfectly with any problems that I've ever had. So I'm teaching you, right? Teachable moments. That's it. You can't do anything wrong. It's all about learning and versatility when it comes to baking. But this is the ultimate best vanilla recipe ever. Even sitting right here, you could smell all the vanilla. And I know when you saw that, the moisture, you can see how moist it is. Look how soft it is. It's everything. So remember, you can use this for strawberry shortcakes, the chocolate trifle recipe that we've done before, or anything. Any of your heart desire, this is the basic recipe to make you fly high with anything that you want to do when it comes to the baking world. But don't forget, I love you guys. Tune in every single Friday here. Make sure you subscribe and like this picture, like this video, and share. Follow me also on Instagram. I can't wait to see you guys next week.